So aloha, welcome. Today I will be going over the how to hold your brush for Dao calligraphy writing. So there are many different ways that you can hold your brush, and it depends on what type of writing you are doing. So for Dao calligraphy, usually we will start off with, we have different types of brush. This is usually a good size for beginners. It's bigger. It has some weight to the brush. And usually for Dao calligraphy, we will hold it on the top third of the brush, okay? So if you break it down in three, about the top third. Usually, if you do need more control, you could go down. And usually when we're writing the more traditional type of strokes, um, you may need a bit more of that control. And so you might see people writing with a lower, lower on the brush. But for Dao calligraphy, because it's like cursive and oneness writing and it's very fluid, we usually will go a little higher and needing that extra space for the flexibility. Okay, so top 1/3 of the brush. There's different ways that you can hold. So one way is that we can hold with your um, index finger and your middle finger on one side of the brush. Okay, and the thumb is kind of between the two, like this. Okay, and your fingers go slightly up with the wrist down. So wrist is down and the fingers go slightly up. And you might have like a slight hook, you see, to your top finger. And the other two fingers can actually, you can do it behind to brace it, or you can put it on the brush. Depends on your style and your comfort. And you could try different ways. Some people feel that putting the other two on the opposite side gives you a bit more of control over your brush. Or we can kind of put all of your fingers here. Usually we try to keep the fingers, near the brush or on the brush to keep the energy within the brush so it doesn't necessarily leak out. But sometimes, you just follow what feels right for you. Okay. And so the finger, your top finger is like facing you. Usually we will write right in front of us. So we usually write standing up, knees slightly bent, feet shoulder width apart, and we will write right in front of us. Okay. So we can feel centered and grounded, and we can have balance in our writing. If we're reaching out here or reaching out here, you will notice that your writing may become unbalanced or crooked. So we want to make sure it's right in front of us, and then we just kind of move the paper or you move along the table. Okay. And when we're writing, we will write at a 90 degrees, especially when you're starting. You want to have the brush 90 degrees, like perpendicular to the table. Okay, so we'll be writing. And in the beginning, you might use more of your arm, use your arm to write, but the power is generated from your lower abdomen. So for those of you who have practiced martial arts, you know that the lower abdomen, what Chinese we might say the lower dantian, is like the foundation of the power. Um, and then the hand follows the brush. Okay. You might, some teachers would have like a ball or egg that they would put in your palm like this that you'd hold, and you wouldn't want to crack the egg. So you want the grip to be loose enough or open enough, right? That you have like you have some space here to hold like an egg or something. Uh, but it's not too loose where if someone does this, it pulls out. It should be like your hand and the brush is one. Okay, so this would be the your brush position. And actually, it's quite easy. If you just kind of relax and shake your hand, If you don't have any kind of major tension or anything in your hand, and you just relax and then just naturally hold your hand up, the brush will actually fit in quite naturally like this. Okay, so just kind of, right? So just relax, and it's kind of in place. So it's a very natural position. Your wrists are also very flexible because many times as you develop in your writing ability and the Dao calligraphy, it's very circular. Everything goes kind of in a circular movement. So you want that flexibility of the wrists. So just a recap. So for the brush position, again, hold top third of the brush. You can hold with your index and middle finger on one side. Thumb, ring, and pinky can be on the other side. And the thumb is usually between the index and the middle finger. And the index, the fingers go up slightly with wrists down. And your index finger has a sort of a hook. The fingertips of your fingers will face inward towards you, okay, towards your body. And we're going to hold the brush at about 90 degrees angle. And I'm mentioning the fingertip facing our navel because we want to write it right at the area of our navel. Okay, not too high, like up here, and not too low because you might have to bend. We don't want to overbend our back. So we want to have it where our back is nice and straight and it's right in front of us that we're writing. Okay, so it's nice to have a nice table that is appropriate to your height. So to have one of those flexible tables that you can adjust the height would be perfect. Okay, you can hold your brush as though you're holding an egg in your palm. It's solid but gentle, and it won't. If someone tries to pull it out of your hand will move with it. Okay, and also you want your wrists to be nice and flexible when you're writing. So thank you for joining me for tips on how to hold your brush. Please stay tuned to other videos and let me know what other information might be happy or might be helpful for you on your Dao calligraphy writing journey. Aloha. Thank you.